Episode 8 is easily the best episode of Daredevil Born Again in forever. That's a sad statement. So we have this is the penultimate episode. There is one episode left. Next week is the finale, and then Daredevil Born Again will be behind us. No one is watching the show, so no one will actually realize that because everyone has given up on this show. But I'm not. I'm here till the bitter end, baby. I'm here to the bitter end. So, here we go. Episode 8. We kick off with Bullseye. Poindexter has been moved to from out of protective custody into the general population prison, which he was moved by Wilson Fisk. Wilson Fisk moved him over there. So that is like the cold open. Then we go into Matt and Heather. Heather's still dealing with the fact that she killed Muse, which I still think is a stupid ass decision. You build Muse up and all the promotion, everything, and he's killed not even by Daredevil, by his fucking girlfriend. Ugh. It's stupid, man. Like, over the week, I've just, like, sat on it, and I'm just like, yeah, that was stupid. What they did with Muse was dumb. Heather is very much continuing now her crusade of anti-vigilantism, right? She's against vigilantes. They showed a bit of this at the start, and it's like Heather's now fully, like, completely against vigilantes, you know, after everything that happened with Muse. Even though Daredevil came in and saved her, still against them. Which Matt points out, he's like, well, you know, Muse is insane, but Daredevil came in to save you. And she's like, well, Muse is, you know, because of Daredevil and stuff like that. Was what she was trying to do here. They are visited by a British Wesley, which is what I call him. He has a name. I think it's Buck Cashman is his actual name. He's British Wesley. Let's be honest here. And he sends Heather an invite to a gala Fisk is doing because Fisk finally got that project he wanted down at the docks to work. He finally got it. So to celebrate, they're having a fundraiser, and Heather is invited. Of course, she's invited because she is him and Vanessa's counselor, therapist, all that stuff. So she's there, and Matt's like, why are you invited to this, right? She doesn't tell him, obviously, that I am his therapist. Matt kind of puts it together, like, on his own, like a smart person. And, you know, he storms out of this pissed the hell off, right? So, Fisk takes Vanessa to Adam. And we finally get Vanessa to see Adam locked up and all that stuff. And Fisk is like, you know, when he's like, you know, I promised you I wouldn't kill him, but just seeing him, it angers me. You know, he's very angry at seeing Adam. He's like, you know, just looking at Adam reminds him that Adam and Vanessa did the thing. So he has on the table the key for Adam to get out and a gun. And, you know, Adam's pleading with Vanessa to just let him go. He won't say anything, all that stuff. This is Vanessa making her choice. Does she go with Adam, let him go, or is she with Fisk? Thankfully, after 8 fucking grueling episodes of having to deal with this stupid marriage debate, she just picks up the gun and kills Adam. Thank fuck. They are finally back together, fully united, as they should have been from the very beginning of the show. Finally, we are done with this stupid ass marriage counseling problem between Vanessa and Fisk that didn't need to be in the show. It was stupid. Thank God we moved past it. Fuck, man. That's one of, like, the worst things this show has done was this plot line with Vanessa and Fisk. It was unbearable. Unfucking bearable. They also clarify from last week that she sent Luca to kill Fisk as a trap for Luca. She knew Luca would die. That was all part of a plan. So Fisk, on the high of, you know, holy shit, I got my wife back, promotes Daniel to Deputy Mayor of Communications. And, you know, he tells Daniel, you know, I know you won't let me down. And Daniel's like, of course not, man. I'm a ride or die and all this shit. So Matt erupts at a client because, you know, he's dealing with the whole Heather getting invited to a Fisk Gala thing. He's told by Kirsten that, about what happened with Bullseye. And, he just blows up at this guy. And he walks out and he goes to Josie's, which has been shut down since Foggy died. He is tracked down by Cherry, who is a useless fucking character. Don't know why he's in the show. This guy sucks. He does nothing of importance. And Josie's just like, well, since you're both here, well, Foggy never got to finish his last order, so you can finish it for him. And she brings out like a certain type of alcohol. And Matt's like, oh, Foggy didn't order that. And she goes, I know who ordered what at my store, Matt. And Matt realizes that, Foggy only drinks this when he's celebrating. And Foggy drank that. So Matt realizes Foggy knew he was going to win the case. And Foggy was silenced by someone. And of course, Matt immediately thinks Fisk, of course. So with this, Matt goes to the prison to meet Poindexter. And Poindexter says, I'll tell you what you want to know, but I got to get out of here. And Matt's like, hell no, you ain't getting out of here. You're going to rot in prison, and you're going to rot for the rest of your life. And he takes Poindexter's head, slams it into the freaking table like 4 times, and then he calls the guard and goes, he started hitting his head on the table. I love that. So, Poindexter's getting stitched up, and he frees himself by spitting one of his broken teeth that was knocked out when Matt was slamming his head into the table. He spits one of them out through a guard's eye. And then, once he's freed, he picks up, some scissors, kills the doctor, and then he takes the guard outfit, and he frees himself from the prison. That is awesome. I like that. He used his own broken tooth to kill a guy. It's awesome. So, at the fundraiser, Heather's there, kind of looking for Matt, and doesn't really see anything. She's like calling him, asking where the hell he is. Vanessa speaks with Heather and says that, I think we're finished with therapy. We've kind of talked things through, put everything behind us. We're all good now. Then Matt shows up at the fundraiser, and Heather is, not too happy with him. We find out during this fundraiser that Fisk is bringing in certain people into a room to talk to them, and he's basically blackmailing them into supporting him. That's what I wanted with Wilson Fisk. This is what I want with Wilson Fisk. So, and Matt's like listening to this with, his advanced hearing. So, we get a scene with the task force where they find one of the waiters is actually a reporter, and they start roughing the guy up. And the commissioner is like, hey, I'm going to write you up for, assault. And the guy's like, oh, this isn't assault. And then he takes the reporter's hand and shoves it into a deep fryer and goes, that's assault. He goes, you can't do anything. We don't answer to you. We answer to the mayor. So the commissioner's pissed at this and he storms out. And he's confronted by BB Urich. Oh, God. And she tells the mayor, not the mayor, the commissioner, if you ever want to say anything, I'm here, type of thing, And the commissioner's like, I got a file on everyone in this task force. And she's like, oh, I'd love to see those files one day. So, Matt is about to go and confront Fisk, but oh no, it is time for Fisk and Vanessa to do the opening dance. And they do the opening dance. And there's a nice scene where Fisk is talking during the dance, but he's talking to Matt because he knows Matt can pick it up with his hearing. So Matt and Heather do a dance, and Matt tells Heather, if anything bad happens, you run to Kirsten, you make up as big of a fuss as you can, right? Because Matt has been telling Heather this whole time, Fisk is using you to get to me. And Heather, being, modern day woman girl boss, goes like, what the hell, Matt? Okay, yeah, buddy. We all know that's the reason, right? So, it turns out Vanessa... Okay, so it's Bullseye is spotted that he's here, right? Like, they know he escaped, right? It's like the dead body of the guard and the doctor's found, and they're like, Bullseye's escaped. He's, all that stuff. And the, British Wesley informs them that, Poindexter escaped, and, I've alerted all the guards and all that type of stuff. And Vanessa immediately is like, there's something I gotta tell you. Fisk is like, it can wait. She's like, I don't know. So, right there, it is found out that Vanessa is the one who hired Bullseye, not Wilson Fisk. Because at the time, Fisk was, I don't know, Echo was purging his mind of all his trauma and he was crying in a fucking casino, I guess. So Vanessa was in charge, so she sent Bullseye to kill Foggy. And, you know, they do a thing where Matt and Heather switch partners, so she goes with Fisk, he goes with Vanessa, and he tells Vanessa, I know what you did, and I'm going to make sure the world knows it. And Vanessa goes, oh, does your girlfriend know you're Daredevil? So while this is going down, Bullseye, he's in the building, he's got a sniper, and he's shining shot up for Fisk, and he shoots. Matt realizes what's happening, and he pushes Fisk out the way, and he takes the bullet for Fisk. Pandemonium happens, and Matt lays on the floor, bleeding with Heather over him. And they do a nice shot where the screen turns all red like Daredevil. That's nice, and that's the episode. So yes, this was the best episode of the fucking season by far. By far. We actually act like a fucking show that makes sense. Like, there's very few decisions in this episode, I think, where I was actively like, why'd you do this? Right? Like, Muse, last week, I was like, why the fuck did you kill him? That's stupid. Right? Like, the stuff that's done in this episode made fucking sense and actually felt, like, logical. Right? Even fucking Heather, who isn't the best character, even her being more anti-vigilante would make sense after what she went through. Her realizing that Matt is not himself makes sense, and she, picks up a fuss about it. I think the one bad thing in this episode is the client. They do the thing with Matt and Kirsten when Matt erupts at the client, where the guy is like, he wants to go to trial because he wants the optics that he has a black woman and a blind guy as his lawyer. And he's like, oh yeah, that'll help optics. And Matt, when he's complaining to Kirsten about, he hates doing stuff like this, like just picking up a rich guy who very obviously did something bad, and they have to defend them. And one of the examples he uses for like injustice done is the guy who went to jail for stealing the caramel corn. Matt, that guy broke the fucking law and stole multiple times. He keeps breaking his fucking parole to go and do this stuff. He deserves prison. You will never not get me to fucking sympathize with that guy. Stop stealing. I just wanted a snack. Okay, go buy one like a normal human being. The fuck? I'm so happy that Vanessa and Fisk's storyline is fucking over. It was awful to begin with. Thank God that's gone. Bullseye's back because they killed Muse off for no good fucking reason, so we need another villain. And this is a loose end we haven't tied yet. We still have to deal with the task force. I do like that they showed the task force is now getting more confident in the fact that they don't gotta answer the commissioner. They are with Fisk. I like seeing Fisk using the dirty tactics on these rich people who didn't like him initially, saying, like, I will tell the world about, some stuff that's gone on, right? One of the women who was very rude to him in a couple episodes ago, she's now fucking scared because her husband's gone missing. Probably something to do with Fisk. I like that. Yeah, this was a good episode. Overall, 8 out of 10. I think this might be this is best episode of the season, bar none. Next episode will be the end, probably a fight with Bullseye. Whether or not Heather finds out he's Daredevil or not, we shall see. I would not mind if Heather died, because, she dies in the comics. The way she dies in the comics is a lot more fucking brutal. The way she fucking dies, she might die in this show if that happens. I wouldn't be mad if Bullseye just pops one in her. No Foggy or Karen at all, again. Like, they're literally in the first fucking episode, and then they're probably going to be at the very end when Foggy reveals he's alive, and Karen comes back. And then season 2 will be hopefully, a proper fucking show. But I can only hope. And we get to see Punisher again next week. So that'll be fun. Looking like Punisher. And they'll beat the crap out of the Task Force guys, probably. So that's going to do it. That's going to do it for this episode of Daredevil Born Again, the penultimate episode. 8 out of 10, best episode of the season, bar none. What did you think of the episode? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you all next time.